Arsenal marked their return to the Champions League with a thumping 4-0 victory over PSV Eindhoven in the opening group stage fixture at the Emirates Stadium on Wednesday night. The Gunners' first half supremacy was reflected in the scoreline, with Bukayo Saka, Leandro Trosard and Gabriel Jesus all making the net ripple inside the first 38 minutes, before captain Martin Odegaard completed the rout midway through the second half. Mikel Arteta's side now sit pretty at the top of Group B, while PSV, who were outclassed by their North London counterparts at the Emirates, have slumped to the bottom of the group, sitting behind both Sevilla and Lens, who played out a 1-1 draw in Spain. Let's go around the punditry world to hear what the experts are saying about Arsenal's impressive performance.
It's a clinical performance out there today by the team. You as the leader, you as the captain, you tell me what was the most pleasing aspects of what you witnessed there.
I think the way we played, I think you saw the motivation, the energy straight from the start. To be back in this competition is huge for us as a club, and I think you saw that on the pitch today. We really enjoyed it, and we played a good game. Of course, some things we can still improve, but it was a solid performance and a great start to the competition.
Mikel spoke all week about standards and wanting to make a statement, especially in game week 1. Do you feel like that was achieved tonight?
Yeah, I think it was. We're in this competition to compete. We're in this competition to fight to go all the way. So I think it's a great start, and we have to keep working hard, and we'll see.
Goals are something that you're definitely adding to your game, especially the last couple of seasons. But take us through it. What did you see in terms of to get that fourth goal, especially for yourself?
I was eager to get on the score sheet there, and got a good ball from Reece, and first touch wasn't good enough, so I took another one, and then found the space down in the corner and went in, so it was good.
You spoke about the atmosphere and everything else that was incredible about tonight. 6 years these fans have had to wait for a moment like tonight. Can you sum up what it felt like in there, the energy in terms of what the fans were giving you?
Yeah, I think it was amazing. Before the game, you could feel that this was a special game for everyone, and the atmosphere, with the Champions League anthem, and then everything around. Fans brilliant again, so we just have to thank them once again for everything they do for us, how much energy they give us, and we're all together, so that's great to see.
And you look forward again, another big game coming up on the weekend, the North London derby. You tell me in terms of how you prepare for that one now.
Yeah, we have to recover now, get the legs fresh again. Another big game, so we have to be ready again, and looking forward to that.
Well, Martin, more than anything else, congratulations, and you're also the player of the game for today.
Thank you very much.
Top man.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, brother.
Cheers. Thank you.
Yeah, great performance from Martin Odegaard and the entire Arsenal team. Let's get a check on all the results then from tonight. Crazy game for Galatasaray. 2 goals in 2 minutes to get that equaliser and earn a draw against Copenhagen in Group A. Bayern Munich, though, what a crazy game over at the Allianz Arena. Manchester United coming from behind to bring that to 4 goals to 3. Let's take a look in Group B, Arsenal's group. Elsewhere, Sevilla and Lens managed to get a 1-1 draw then, so honours shared in that one. In Group C, Jude Bellingham, the hero for Real Madrid in the dying moments of the game. They beat debutants Union Berlin, whilst last year's the Scudetto champions Napoli had to come from behind to beat Braga 2 goals to 1. Salzburg in Group D beat Benfica, and Inter as well. Last year's finalists had to come from a goal down to level with Real Sociedad. Okay, so a huge game for Arsenal then. You can see the statistics there. In terms of possession, yes, they edged it a little bit, but certainly in terms of shots and those on target and touches in the opposition box as well. But the most important statistic there is, of course, the result, which is 4-0 Arsenal against PSV Eindhoven. No pushover as a team either. They were unbeaten in 26 games coming into this one, so a body blow for them to lose by that margin. But for Arsenal, Martin, a former Gooner, Gooner at heart still, of course. That's a
always
massive,
a Gooner.
Always a Gooner. Statement win, that one.
Very much so. And I particularly, it was like rolling the clock back, wasn't it, watching the way they were so emphatic in the way that they beat their opponent. Over a 30-minute period, they scored 3 goals and just put the tie or put the game away. Second half was a bit of a canter. Played some wonderful football. Odegaard just talking there, saying about the fans and the energy you give them. It's a two-way thing. The players, they make the fans believe in them again, as we had that many years ago. And it was like a bit like that. It's a bit like watching the Henry and Pires days when teams really took teams to the sword. And I thought that was there. So it was clinical. And Odegaard it's astonishing how he's risen in the game. It was only I think his 3rd Champions League game, his first goal in Champions League football. He was at Real Madrid for many, many years, not really doing it. I think they won 3 Champions Leagues while he was there. But look how he's come back and he's really controlling games for Arsenal. And then the players around him, Arsenal were just too good tonight.
Yeah, and this is Martin Odegaard's goal as well, Michael. I mean, he does lead from the front, doesn't he?
Yeah, a little shimmy just to get him, buy him a little bit of space. This takes a tiny deflection. I don't think it alters the ball at all. I think that's arrowing into the bottom corner. He strikes it so well. When you've got this rain-soaked ground as well, it skips off lively and it flies into the corner. He was sensational, especially in the second half. I enjoyed watching him play. And it was just the perfect night for Arsenal. Absolutely perfect. Martin mentioned at half-time there's a big game coming up at the weekend, and Mikel Arteta couldn't have picked and couldn't have, hoped for this game to go any better. Killing the game early, bringing off some of your key players, resting a few players for the weekend, and winning emphatically 4-0. It was just the perfect night.
It was the perfect night. It started in the perfect manner as well. It took just 8 minutes for Bukayo Saka to get that opening goal as well, Martin.
It did. And what they do, Arsenal, is the sort of the canvas of their players, their wide players, picking up these wide positions. But I mean, it's really poor defending, and they just switch off because this ball comes out again. It's Odegaard involved, and there's Saka then to pick up the pieces. Everybody's alive, everybody's on the move. Keeper probably should have tipped that round the post. It's live, and then Saka, who just keeps producing, as we say, cut his teeth in the Europa League. Now it's the Champions League, and it's the trajectory that the club is on, and Saka is very much a part of that.
Yeah, and Leandro Trosard as well. Look, he had a hand in pretty much everything good that happened with Arsenal today. He scored the second goal as well, created the third for Gabriel Jesus. It's his positioning, it's his finishing, it's his vision, it's everything, isn't it? He really has it all.
Yeah, he's a classy player. He came on at the weekend against Everton and scored a fantastic finish.
Yeah.
And that confidence has probably rolled over into this game. He had a lot of space in the first half in particular, and he utilised it so well. I mean, he had a big... His was the final say in this one, but then he had a big hand as well in the third goal. He's checking his shoulder, he knows what's around him, he just slows his speed down. The ball across is absolutely perfect in terms of the right weight, and I just love this angle. Probably sets it off just outside the post and curls in again right in the corner. I mean, Arsenal's finishing tonight was pretty good, and that was a lovely finish. And then again in this third goal, his second big involvement, really, his spin and run into the channel, Martin, was exquisite.
It is, and they keep that wide position, and what it does is it occupies the fullbacks, leaves space in the middle, which they ultimately come back into, and then this guy here, I mean, this is a fantastic finish. Really important as well that Jesus, he's the winner, isn't he, in the group? Him and Zinchenko, that they're on the field now, over that nasty injury he had. He had some surgery at the start of the season, and he's back in good form.
That first touch as well from Jesus was brilliant. You just see as the ball bounced up, he controlled it with his studs, and the ball started spinning back towards him. It makes it much easier. When the ball's coming towards you slowly, it makes it much easier to hit it clean, and he didn't half hit it clean into that far corner.
And Martin, you did point out that all of those goals were sort of created from those wide areas. It is the tactic of Mikel Arteta at the moment, and I guess it's something that other teams and opposition teams will now be looking out for.
Well, I mean, Spurs have had a nice evening off tonight, and they've been watching who they're playing, their opponents at the weekend, and everybody knows that Arsenal like to. They create that kind of canvas in the wide areas, as we see it there, nice and wide. That's really difficult to play against because Arsenal wingers, they run at, it's almost like it creates this 1v1 situation. You can't really protect. But it's what the opposite winger then is doing, moving into position. No one really stops moving, and they're all alive to the situation. And I really like the way that Trosard, particularly, has come into the team again tonight, and he has just picked it up. Look, they're almost running in lanes, but the fullback can't really go across, but now he's just waiting. If he went too soon, he'd been picked up. Because he arrives late, he just has all of that space just to tuck that one away.
It's a real Pep Guardiola trait, isn't it, as well, playing high, wide wingers. And the other thing it does is it pins back the fullbacks. It gives you space everywhere else on the pitch. And if your fullbacks are going to be brave and leave those players alone and go and attack, then you're going to be in a lot of trouble if there's a turnover play. And that third goal where Trosard spins in was a great example of how you can expose fullbacks as well.
Yeah, they're certainly doing a lot right, aren't they? And the man who's responsible for that is Mikel Arteta. He's been speaking to JD Dyer after the game.
Well, Mikel, we've spoken so much this week, and we spoke about standards, expectations, but when you look at everything and you take a deep breath and you think about this, what was the most pleasing aspect of tonight for yourself?
Well, first of all, winning a football match, which is the most important thing, and that we enjoyed it from the first minute. We went for it. We wanted to attack them. We wanted to create problems to them, and today I think we're really good in both boxes. And in the Champions League, when you are really good in both boxes, you had a great chance. Because I think in the process from box to box, there was a lot of things to still improve, but I think in the boxes we were phenomenal today.
When you take into consideration all three attackers scoring, Martin Odegaard also adding, how pleasing is that from a manager when you see your goal scorers being spread across so many different avenues?
This is what we need, that they get used to doing that, and as well they got involved in many goals as well, the four of them especially. So I'm really pleased to do that, really pleased for Gabi as well, the way he earned his goal, because he had a couple of chances before that. So that's what we need. Last year it was a big thing for us, and we have to continue to develop that.
Are you smiling right now because of the squad depth? You think about the players that came off. You heard the crowd reception for Emil Smith-Rowe alone. You as a manager, that must give you so many headaches, but good headaches at the same time.
Good headaches is probably the hardest thing in the job, because you get emotionally attached to them, and it's been a beautiful journey with them. And when you don't play a play, you know how the player feels, and you cannot do anything against it. You just have to play him. And for Emil especially today, I was really happy, and he got an incredible reception, so he should be really proud.
When we spoke yesterday, you turned around and said that you were going to take a moment, at least post-match, to take in this moment. 6 years is a long time to wait. You felt the energy from the fans tonight. What are you now going to, when you sit down and you reflect, how are you going to feel about it?
Enjoy tonight, go home, have a nice late dinner with my wife. My kid will be sleeping, but I'm sure they've been watching the game, and nothing. Enjoy the moment, enjoy the victory, and tomorrow morning I start with the Spurs, because we have a big game coming up.
Want anything else, Mikel? Congratulations, and here we go.
Thank you.
Yeah, he did say that. A big game coming up. Let's just take a look at how it leaves Group B, though. The victory today. Arsenal at the top of the table, of course. Sevilla and Lens drew earlier. Looking at that big game, then, it is as big as they come. North London derby with both Arsenal and Tottenham in fine form as well. Mikel Arteta made the decision to put David Raya in goal today and in the last game. Michael, which way does he go? Stick with Raya? Stick or twist?
It's fascinating. I probably would side with sticking. I like Raya. I think as soon as I saw him at Brentford, I thought this keeper can play, with all due respect to Brentford, can play in a Champions League team. I think he's exceptional. He's very good with his feet. He's an all-rounder, really. And I rate Ramsdale as well, but if I had to choose, I'd probably just side with Raya. But more importantly, I think the interesting thing is what Mikel Arteta has said over previous days. You know, sometimes I would bring a goalkeeper off during a game and things like that. So I think that's all going to have to play out this season to see exactly what he means. But I think at the moment,
it's going to be difficult, though, isn't it, to unseat Raya now that he's got into the team. I mean, tonight there was a montage of long balls and calm moments. He is he's calmness personified, isn't he? And I think that's the problem for Ramsdale. A little bit younger, he's 3 or 4 years younger. And how he's going to react now to this. You know, he didn't look best pleased sitting on the bench. But he can only prove himself when he gets another opportunity. So it's a difficult one maybe for the manager, but it's probably a nice problem. But I think you probably would leave it as it is. Yeah. Because now, tonight, he looked very, very comfortable in that position, Raya. The problem is, a lot of the time, if you do something wrong, you can half accept it. You can think, oh, you know, it's a bit harsh. You know, I've not had my best period, but I've done well in the past. And he's brought someone else in. But you can sort of come to terms with it. But he's been playing well. He's done really well. There's no real big excuse to actually leave him out at the moment. Yeah. That's probably why you'd be feeling a bit sick. But maybe, I don't know. Is he looking back to some of the situations last season against Southampton? There were some difficult moments for Ramsdale. Does he feel that this goalkeeper is better, calmer in those situations? Does he look at Pep and say, well, OK, look what he did to Joe Hart?
Absolutely.
Look at the way that he was jettisoned out of the team in those first few weeks. But maybe it starts with the keeper. I mean, the way the modern game is, it's a key part of that development, trying to develop from the back.
But he only signed him 2 minutes ago.
Well, and I don't think he has certainly not let him down. True, he hasn't let him down. But this is high standard. And maybe he's the key player in all of this. Yeah. So, no, I like Raya and I like Ramsdale. So I'm going to go with the manager, whatever he wants to choose. But I think at the moment, someone's shouting at me, I'm sitting on the fence. what I really like is what's playing. I think Raya is slightly better, as I said before the game, with the ball at his feet. And I think that gets him in the team right now.
And look, this is a side that's going to be fighting on all fronts. Martin Odegaard said there in the interview, we're not here to make up the numbers, we're here to try and fight to the end. And they're going to be doing that in the Premier League, in the Champions League, in the League Cup, in the FA Cup. So Ramsdale, you would imagine, would get his opportunities.
He will get his fair amount of games, absolutely.
He wants that same competition all over the pitch, by the way, because that takes, never mind about winning trophies, you just win your place first. And that competition, if they had that stiff competition in every position, then Arsenal do push Man City all the way this year.
Yeah.
So let's see.
Let's see. Oof, let's see. So much to still unfold, gentlemen.
OK, let's talk about your Arsenal, shall we?
Yes,
4-0 tonight.
Yes.
The Arsenal.
Yes.
Back in the Champions League, back with a bang.
I guess it's me being afraid because last year Eindhoven troubled us in Europa League, especially at their ground. I was thinking about Johan Bakayoko, Noah Long, but then the big man arrived on the scene. And if he starts to score goals like that, like a poacher, it's going to be difficult to stop him, Jamie.
Yeah, he is. I mean, he's a fantastic talent. You highlighted him before the game. He just seems to get better and better. And the next step is for him to produce at the highest level, which is the Champions League. And he's made a brilliant start and scoring so early and getting so many goals just before, obviously, half-time. The game was almost dead and buried. But you're a big fan of Trosard and the job he does for Arsenal, Thierry.
You know, I work with him with Belgium, and this type of opportunity, it is so clean. You know, when he has to finish, when he has to cross that ball, you're going to see it on the third goal. The way
Arsenal,
he takes the ball, the 1-2s, the way he works in and around the box. Is a great finisher. Like Gabriel Martinelli gives you something different. He's more a transition player. This guy can play in and around the box. Look at that move. Did you see that move? How he spin on the player? And then how he's going to shift that ball. I always say to wingers, you don't need to beat your man to cross the ball. Look, he shifted that ball, crossed it on his left, put it on the platter for Gabriel Jesus. You still have to finish that, by the way. But just the way he shifted the ball with his left foot. Hey, boom, see you later. You don't have to do 20 billion step-overs to beat someone. You saw your man, deliver the ball, Gabriel Jesus controls it and finishes it.
And Odegaard never fails to deliver, does he? Is he one of the top players in European football now, Odegaard? Or certainly in the Premier League?
I think in the Premier League, I mean, he grew. I remember when he went to Real Madrid, he was kind of early, then he went on loan to a couple of teams. And now, look, you have to give him his credit. He's the main man at Arsenal alongside Bukayo Saka. I think, you know, he's been magnificent. But once again, I know how you feel now. It's the first game, I can say it. Let's not get carried away. It's a long road.
New crew member Anita Jones was at the Emirates for us for this game. She's been speaking to Mikel Arteta, so let's listen in.
You could barely keep the smile off your face when you walked into the room. Arsenal fans had to wait 6 years for Champions League football to return to the Emirates. Can you put that performance into words, please?
Emotional. I think it was emotional from the beginning. Obviously, as you said, we've been a long time waiting for this moment, and we wanted to produce a performance and a result for everybody to be proud of, and we have managed to do it. And it was a beautiful night, not because of the weather, but because of the atmosphere that we had in the stadium.
A beautiful night indeed. Going into this game, you made some big calls. I've got to ask you, why did you go for David Raya instead of Aaron Ramsdale tonight?
Well, we made a lineup that we believed it was the best to face PSV, like with all the changes that we made, nothing different.
You'll be tired of these questions, but what does this mean for Aaron Ramsdale going forward?
It means the same for the players, that we have another game on Sunday and we have to prepare the best way to try to win it.
We saw some full-flowing attacking football there. Perhaps one of the most complete performances from Arsenal. What was different there, and which was your favourite goal? 4 different goal scorers.
Every goal was different. What I really liked today, we were exceptional in both boxes. We have to defend some direct play, defensive transitions. We did that really, really well. And every time we got around the box, you can sense that danger. And the finishing that we had from our front players especially was top.
Favourite goal?
No. I think the 4 of them, it doesn't matter. The third one and the fourth one, because then you can relax a little bit probably.
You did look quite relaxed after Gavi's goal. We didn't see you jumping on the sideline. Thank you very much and good luck in the North London derby.
Didn't want to answer that. Oh, that's funny. Are we going to show the table very quickly just to kind of round up that group and what we were seeing? Then the final, there we go. So Arsenal top of the table, long road though, Thierry, as you said.
It is.
Lens and Sevilla, they drew 1-1, the score in that one. So they split the points, PSV yet to get off the board. Any thoughts on what Mikel Arteta was saying there? Anything you'd like to share? Or?
No, exactly what we said. He put a team on the field to win a game. regardless of what I think or what Jamie thinks or what Peter thinks or what whoever thinks, he has to do a job. He thinks that's the best team to beat PSV Eindhoven, and that's what he did.
You're referring to the keeper situation?
Yeah.
I mean, do you think Arsenal are capable of winning this competition?
It's early, Jamie. Really, like...
No, but the reason I asked that, I get what you're saying. It's the first time you've been in it for a long time. But you think of the strength of the Premier League. They are probably the closest challengers to Man City in the Premier League. And
as a fan, I want them to win it. As a fan, I wish we could win it. But then, in depth, playing the league and playing all the competition that you have to play in England, it might be much. But if you said to me that Inter Milan was going to go to the final last year, I would have said no right from the start. If you said that Milan was going to go to the semi-final, I would have said no. If you said to me also, although I was playing for Arsenal, with that team, we went to the final in 2006, I would have said no the way the season was going. But we went, so you got to believe, you never know what can happen. You have teams that are way ahead in terms of what people would say in terms of being in the competition, playing already big games in that competition, winning it already, so those guys are ahead. But as you know, if you go through the group stage, who are you playing? Are you on the right side of the draw or not? Because I don't have anything against Italian teams, but last year they were on the right side of the draw, whatever people are saying to me. So that also matters. But as an Arsenal man, I would love them to win it, obviously.
Real Madrid is another team that's always considered one of the favourites, right, when it comes to Champions League. They got a win today against Union Berlin, playing at home in Spain. Union Berlin. My German pronunciation isn't quite what Jamie's is, but, you know, I give it a go.
Union Berlin.
I was thinking more of Viel Glück in München. Welcome back, everybody, to our Champions League coverage. Arsenal back in the Champions League, 4-0 win, made quite the statement tonight. We're going to take you out to the Emirates where, as promised, Gabriel Jesus is joining the show. Fantastic to have you. I'm going to hand it over to Thierry, who I know you've got something to say.
No, I do have something. First and foremost, congratulations, Gabby. I'm very happy to see you scoring goals and being back on the field. But can you explain to people how difficult it is to be injured and watching your team play, and just if you fast forward now, scoring that goal, and especially the one I love is the one against Man United when you put the defender down and you finish. Can you explain?
Yeah. You know, it's so hard. You know, you guys played the game. You know, I had some injuries in my career, and then was bad time always. But obviously, I try to be strong in my mind, to come back as quick as possible and stronger. And it's not easy to watch, you know, and you want to play all the time. But at the end, you have to go for the challenge, you know. That's the life, football players' life is like this. And also, yeah, it's good to score goals. I love to score goals. I try.